Started? Yeah. Just no. No, no.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, please. Can
Yes,
get
Ocean.
you.
Okay, good. Okay. Let's begin our today's class. Uh, okay. In our last class, that we studied overall view on the green building. Let's have a short review on the green building definition. From the EPA, the definition is green of sustainable building is a practice of creating healthy and more resource efficient model of construction, renovation, operation, maintenance, and demolition. Uh, the the phases relating to the sustainability actually cover the whole life cycle of a real project. And for the common objective of the green buildings, includes three laws. The first one is that efficiently using energy, water, and other resources. The second is protecting occupant health and improving employee productivity. And the third is reducing waste, pollution, and environmental degradation. These three sentences actually are very simple, but behind the sentences, they have a very big implication. So, at the beginning of today's class, let's have our open discussion. This discussion is the homework of the last class, and I believe every one of you has thought a lot about this topic, and did did well prepare the PPT slides to share with others. The first question is the situation of what? Of the energy. Energy. The energy is the first regulation in the sustainability development energy. And actually, the energy utilization is maybe the most important objective of the sustainability. So, the first question is about the situation of the building energy cost. The emphasis is a building energy cost. In our own countries, many of our classmates from different countries. This is good news, and maybe some classmates from one same mainland. Also, you can share your data and your viewpoints from your own. Maybe everyone facing the same data can have different viewpoints. I believe that. And the second one is there possible contradiction? The contradiction may be between the comfort and the green building. How to think about that? This is the second question. I want to know your opinions of this topic. Okay, let's count the total number of our students in this class. 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have only 9 students in the class. True. Let me count. Everyone. Okay, 14 students. 14 students. Everyone. The best is within 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And maybe you have 1 or 2 more minutes to share your points. Okay, let's begin from the first students. From the list, Feldman. Feldman, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, sure. May you please share your opinions with others? You can share
Can we go? Yes, I was looking where I put it. Can you go to someone else and then I'll be presenting it next, maybe? Is it possible?
Okay. I know your situation. Okay. Let's. Xiami.
Yes, Lordship.
May you please?
Yes,
the first one?
Yes, Lordship.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So good.
Hi, everyone.
5 minutes. Control the time.
My name is Haytham Abdul Malik al-Shami, Chinese name Shamili. Actually, I am now in Nanjing City in Jiolongho campus. I was looking for some data about my country, about Yemen, but I found nothing about my country. It's not. So I wrote some I searched about United Arab Emirates. Some existing building in the United Arab Emirates consume 220 to 360 kilowatt hour per meter square per year. The current regulation, which many buildings are implementing to meet this standard, is 160 to 260 kilowatt hour per meter square per year. And the best practice in the United Arab Emirates show it's the most energy efficient building, consuming 110 to 160 kilowatt hour per meter square year. This one for the public spaces and for the environment places. And we can see here in this figure some details. For the cooking, 3%, for the refrigeration, 6%, for the electronic and computers, around 10%, for the water heating, around 10% also, for the ventilation and air condition, around 35%, and for the lighting, around 18%, and others for 6.3%. And for the residential places, we can see in this figure some details, like for this one, for the lighting around 27%, for the water heating around 7%, for the cooking 4%, and for the refrigerator around 3%. For the ventilation equipment, 3%, for the office equipment 6%, and office 6%. The energy sources that are not available in the commercial market for a price are classified to non-commercial energy and commercial energy. The non-commercial energy sources included falls and as for example, wood cattle dung and agriculture wastes, which are traditionally gathered and not bought upright, used special and rural household. In my opinion, there is no there is no conflict or contradictions between the comfort and green building. Some people think there is contradictions, but in my opinion, there is no contradictions, because I feel it's green building. It's the healthy and the safety idea for our life now and in the future. Green building energy efficiency solution would become a practice in the near future. Some homeowners are begin to be convenienced with the result, and they are looking for the possibility that the same practice be integrated into their properties. The call for the economic and sustainable residential designs would become free, inevitable, and high demand later on in the future. And here in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, they start to use solar energy and wind energy, and this the most popular and common idea. They start to use it in Dubai. Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah. How about the second question?
Hello, in my I see in my opinion there is no conflict between the comfort and green building.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. At the beginning, I have one question for you. How about your thinking about the consumption of the light energy is so high in your country?
Because not only in some places they are high. Yeah, they use high energy because it's like economic, because they are economic city. But now they start to have a huge plan to introduce the lighting. Maybe in the near future it will be around like 10 or less than 10%.
Okay. So good. Yeah. So good. Thank you so much. Any other questions, please? Anyone can have questions on him.
Ask you a question.
Please.
I saw the first figures kilowatt hour usage per hour. It's per year. It's written per year. I think it's pretty low. I compared it with my data, and it seems really small number for me. Actually, this is monthly usage of electricity in my country, 200 and 300 kilowatt hour. Do you think that's right?
Yeah.
That could be a month. That's not a year, right?
Yeah.
But
that?
I was trying to check more, like from not only from like Google or even from like Google Scholar. I'm trying to collect some data, but almost they are close from 110 to 160 beer like year. And maybe I need to check more if this like number it's right, or maybe more like beer. As you see, maybe it's not beer year, maybe beer month. Maybe I will check like more. Maybe I will find like a new update about that.
Okay. Where are the data from?
This it's from Google. Search this
Sorry,
data.
from Google?
Yeah, from Google. Yes,
maybe you have to double check the source of the data.
Yes, maybe yes, Loshi, because as my classmate say like maybe this number it's like it's not that so much. Maybe
right.
Maybe he's on the right side.
Okay. Yeah, seems very low.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Xiaomili. Let's invite the next classmates to share. Luo Yang.
Oh, I'm here. Professor.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you please?
Okay, I will share my screen.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. The green building discussion I made here is two parts. You can see first is about the CBEC situation, China building energy consumption situation, and the part two is about the relationship between comfort and green building. First one, how do we define the BEC, building energy consumption? I found several definitions in the papers, and I prefer to use this one. Life cycle building energy consumption. That means the total energy consumption, the whole life cycle of buildings, including energy used in building material production, building construction, building operation, and building demolition stage. And we can look at here the China building energy consumption. What's the proportion of the China building energy consumption in the China energy consumption? I found the data is about 20%. The building operation takes 20% of energy consumption in China, and the energy used in building material production and building construction take more than 20%. So we can see it's huge, right? The embodied energy consumption, the embodied energy consumption is just the the energy used in building material production and building construction. And in 2018, civil construction energy consumption, urban residences and rural residents and public buildings take 42%, 14% and 44% respectively. And the civil construction energy consumption proportion is only about 40% in the whole construction industry. So we can say it's huge, right? The embodied energy consumption, and the civil construction only take less than the half. And the building operation consumption in China, I find the papers usually take it as 4 parts. We can see in the picture the public buildings, the rural residents, the rural and the urban, right? The urban residents and the north heating. And we can see the specific data in the picture. You can see the data is close. The 4 parts, they are close. Okay, now it's the part 2, comfort versus greenness. We are talking about the relationship between the greenness and the comfort. It's a contradiction or affiliation. First, we must we must define something. For first, the green building. In the course, we say it's healthier and more resource efficient. And how do we define the comfort? There is several comfort index: aesthetics, serenity, lighting, ventilation, acoustics, and humidity. And but the comfort is individual feeling that nearly everyone has its own standard. So it's hard to standardize it in one with one benchmark. So in my opinion, I would say there is no absolute relationship between them. We can say building green building does not equal to irrational low energy cost. There are some people they think the green building just means the low energy cost. So you must use less energy, so that will make people uncomfortable. But I think that's not true. Second, the natural neutral environment, we say natural lighting, ventilation is comfortable for most people. And we should focus on the neutral. Yeah, natural environment doesn't always mean comfortable. We can say there are hot summer and cold winter, and that's not comfortable for us. And there is no perfect thing, so we need technique advance to get building close to both green and comfortable. Thanks. This is my references. That's all.
Okay, thank you so much, Lo Yang. Yeah. Your
Okay.
your presentation is very good. Thank you. And
Thank you, sir.
yeah, may you please continue share your screen?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, please go back the last second. The last second.
Second.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
one.
yeah. This one, yes, right. Here, I generally agree with your opinion. Generally agree, but in some parts actually needs more consideration. For example, the third line here, the third line.
Third line.
Sorry, the third sentence. The third sentence. The natural neutral environment, is comfortable for most people. I have to correct it because it is not necessarily always the same. You know? Yeah.
I'm not so clear about your words.
Yeah. The environment, the natural environment, actually is not always comfortable.
Yeah.
It depends on the climate.
Oh yeah, climate's right. Yeah.
Climate. For example, in Nanjing, in this week, the natural environment is very comfortable. Most people read that, but maybe 2 or 3 months later, in Nanjing is very cold. The natural environment actually is uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's just what I have said. Only the natural, neutral environment is comfortable for most people, not all the natural environment.
Yeah, you mentioned the natural lighting, ventilation. Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
But they have a precondition. They have the condition. They have specific conditions. Yeah. You have to mention it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Any
Any questions, please, classmates? Welcome points. This is the first introduction on the Chinese situation. Please, any Chinese students? Any Chinese student have questions on that? Okay.
Yeah,
No.
that's a good
Please.
presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to appreciate him. It shows a good figure for on Chinese side. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And Lo Yang, I have another question on you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In your investigation, please go back to the slides on the consumption of the total energy. Yeah, this one.
Total energy.
The fifth. The fifth.
This one.
This one. Yeah. Do you get any data inside the percentage of the energy consumption during the operation?
I see some papers and the data is not all the same. So I just choose, but they are close. Yeah, they are close. they are not the same, but they are close. So I just choose one to write down here, and I know that's maybe not so accurate.
Okay. Thank you. Maybe others can supplement such data.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. Let's invite our next classmates. Yeah. Zhang Caoyi.
Yes.
Hello, Zhang Caoyi. Okay, sure. Can. Yeah, sure. Please begin.
Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Zhang Zhaoyin. It's my pleasure to share my opinions with you. And I will, from the two consensus, to introduce my points. And so first, I will introduce the situation of building energy costs in China. According to the Chinese Building Energy Research Report in 2020, in 2018, the total energy consumption in the whole total energy consumption in the process of Chinese construction industry was 2.147 tons of standard force. According to the proportion of total energy consumption is 46.5%, and the reporting for the proportion of carbon emissions is 51%. And as for the energy consumption in different buildings in the operation process, as you can see in the picture on the right, the blue part represents the public buildings, and its building energy consumption accounts for 38%, and the red part represents urban residential buildings, and its building energy consumption accounts for 38%, and the gray part represents the rural residential buildings, and its proportion of building energy consumption is 24%. And obviously, the energy consumption of public buildings and urban residential buildings accounts for the majority. And this is also the focus of the future energy conservation and emission reduction work, I think. And next is the proportion of energy consumption in Chinese construction industry. This blue curve represents the proportion of energy consumption in Chinese construction industry in recent years. According to this curve, the proportion of energy consumption in the whole process has shown an upward trend, and this upward trend has slowed down in recent years. However, compared with the other countries, Chinese building energy consumption levels are still relatively high. For example, the energy consumption of building windows is 2 to 3 times that of the other countries, and the energy consumption of exterior walls is 3 to 5 times, and the energy of the roof is 3 to 5 times. Obviously, I think China should still work hard on building energy efficiency. And for the second question, I don't think there is a contradiction between comfort and rebuilding. First, I think comfort is one of the requirements of rebuilding. As you can see, one of the requirements of rebuilding is protecting occupant health and improving employee productivity. That is, I think, in addition to inside the environmental protection of the outside world, it also requires taking the quality of the indoor living environment into account, including the comfort and health needs of the residents. And however, I think comfort in rebuilding is not too easily achieved. it takes effort to achieve comfort in the building. I think we can achieve comfort from the following parts. For indoor comfort, we can focus on control fresh air system and air purification system. And for time saving, I think we can use automatic window glass and floor automatic cleaning system. And for leisure, I think we can design some strong rooms and outdoor recreation areas. And last but not least, I think we should use healthy building materials and keep the indoor air fresh and temperature and humidity regulated to make the occupants feel good and healthy. These are my views. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So good. Yeah, Sam. And I think your thinking about the second question is very beneficial for all of our others. Yeah, and you can go back to the last third. This one, and from this one and the second one, I think your thinking is very thorough, very good on that, I have one question on you. Please go back to the energy consumption. Yeah, energy consumption slides I mentioned on that. The backboard. Yeah, forward. Yeah. Back. Yeah. Maybe the 7. Yeah, right. What's the meaning that you mentioned in your slides? The energy consumption of the building window. How about the energy consumption of building windows?
It means in the operation process, the building the energy of the building windows. For example, like when in summer the temperature is very high and we will turn on the air conditioner.
Air conditioner. You mentioned the utilization of the air conditioner.
Yes.
And actually, from you is utilization of the natural ventilation. Is your meaning?
Yeah. Yes.
It's the natural ventilation for cooling or the heating. With it, mainly for the cooling. The building window, the consumption, is it?
Yes.
Okay, and what's the meaning of the next one? The energy consumption of the exterior wall. What's the meaning of that? The material.
保温材料还不知道怎么对。
Inside. Okay, the heat isolation. The heat isolation material. 也就是说，你这个里面是指这个保温材料，是吧？保温材料的消耗是这个意思是吗
？Yes.
Okay. About the raw materials for the heat isolation. Relating the second. And how about the third?
For the lighting and for
lighting. 没关系，你如果英文表达觉得有点吃力，你可以用中文补充都可以。我们要把这个问题说清楚嘛。
对，就是屋顶的设计嘛，它可能涉及到一些就是太阳能热水器或者电池的一些设计，它可能就比如说我们要烧热水吧，但是如果 你的能力设计好的话，就可以直接就打野了。
这个很笼统啊，你这个里面说3到5倍是发达国家的3到5倍，然后上面的这个2到3倍是自然通风的，然后下面的这个，其实我觉得这个数据，我不知道是你从哪个地方拿来的，但是我觉得这个数据好像有点问题，我感觉不太清晰，就这个表述上就不太清晰，是不是啊？对吧？不清楚到底想说什么，就是哪种能量是发达国家的多少倍，是不是？对吧？你如果说是空调的，是发达国家的2到3倍，或者说是这个空调能耗是发达国家的2到3倍，如果是这样说，那么它这个搞不好还成立啊，搞不好还成立，是不是啊？对吧？然后下面的这个强体原材料的消耗量，可能是发达国家的那个3到5倍。对吧？
他的有个他的意思可能就是说，这个由于这种因素所导致的它的后续一些材料的能源消耗是这个3到5倍。
那么你这个数据的来源可靠吗？
不是特别官方的，就是特别的权威的，就在一篇中文期刊论文里面。这个
OK。
The first feature I think is
OK， 好的，OK. Any other questions, please? Everyone are welcome. Any questions, please? Okay, no more question. Thank you, Dan. Thank you again. Let's invite the next one. Liu Zhi.
Hello, Professor Ming.
Okay.
My name is Liu Chu.
Oh, Liu Chu.
Yeah.
Sorry. Liu Chu.
Professor Ming, I created your master PowerPoint. I hope you don't mind.
Okay, no problem.
Discussing what's the situation of building energy cost in your country? I think coal is an important basic energy source, and most else is thermal power in China. Its main characteristics are as follows. Firstly, abundant coal resources and low per capita content. Secondly, the geographical distribution of coal resources is unbalanced, with more coal in the north and less coal in the south, more coal in the west and less coal in the east. Lastly, coal is abundant, but high-quality coking coal is scarce. And there are some following problems. For example, in China, the utilization rate of coal resource is very low, and a large number of coal combustion with no efficiency causes serious environmental pollution. And the unreasonable setting of China's resources tax results in huge waste of energy exploitation. Discussing too, is there possible contradictions between comfort and green building? My perspective is I don't think there is a potential contradiction between comfort and green building. First of all, the primary goal of green building is to create a comfortable environment for users and provide quality service while saving energy to the greatest extent. It is not necessarily luxurious, but it must be comfortable and meet the functional needs of the building. At the same time, the concept of green and energy saving building advocated by the People's Housing Committee is the first thing is to solve is comfort. So it can be said that a green building is first and foremost a healthy and comfortable building. But however, there are many blind behaviors in green building at present. When is the blind pursuit of high-end intelligent building system for courage, resulting the completion of the system cannot be fully used or less on users, resulting a waste of investment. Second, developers pursue the selling points in the sales process of buildings, and all kinds of intelligent systems are to go up, but they are superficial and fails to really meet the actual application effects. As a result, green building development is slow and obstructed. Relevant obstacles has been covered in class. My suggestion is to focus on the comfort of green buildings from the perspective of consumers. Only what consumers really need can they pay for it, so as to better promote the development of green buildings in China, truly protect the health of residents and improve the comfort of living. That's all my presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Liu Chu. One question. I have one question for you. Do you have any investigation on the percentage of our utilization of the total energy? You mentioned the material, the core material, the core utilization, the rate, no problem. And actually, in nowadays, modern generation, we have many other sources. Core is a conventional energy source.
Yes.
And all of us knows that. And any other green energy? May you please have any points on that?
Green energy?
Yeah, green energy. Clean energy.
Clean energy.
Yeah. Clean energy sources in China nowadays have been conducted into the commercial operation.
Wind energy, solar.
You can use some examples. May you please?就清洁能源这一块，我们国家目前的清洁能源这一块，你了解多少？能不能说一说？尤其是他们的这个大致的这个组成以及分布，有没有概念的
？I just know wind energy, solar energy.
Only solar energy.
Wind energy.
Okay, solar energy. Yeah. Actually, you may do more investigation on this topic after the class. I suggest you to do that. It is very essential in this course. We have many clean energy sources in China nowadays.
Yeah, wind energy and solar energy, wind energy.
Okay. Actually, the most the biggest source of the clean energy you didn't mention is the electricity. Yeah, hydro. 水电站，水电。
Oh. Thanks. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions, please? Okay, no more question. Yeah, thank you, you too.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, let's invite the next classmate. 李国志.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Wait a minute. Hello, everyone. My name is Li Guozhi. Hello, everyone. My name is Li Guozhi. My English name is Como. My topic is building carbon emission in China. I'm talking about carbon emission rather than energy cost because I think carbon emission is a better measure of a building's energy efficiency. First of all, I'd like to tell you about China's carbon emission target. In 2020 75th session UNGA, President Xi Jinping proclaimed China's aims to peak its carbon emissions to 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. In Climate Ambition Summit, President Xi reiterated carbon emissions target and come up with specific quantitative target. As one of the three major sectors of carbon emission, building is important to meet the carbon targets. The first picture shows historic trends of total carbon emission. The life cycle of architecture is divided into three stages. The production phase of building material, construction phase, and operation phase. Their growth has been curbed since 2015 because of China's strengthening of environmental governance. Let's see how building carbon emission compose. In 2018, the total carbon emission are 37.58 tons. Construction phase account for a very small percentage. City residential and public buildings account for a bigger percentage of operation phase. Steel and cement contributes to major carbon emissions of the production phase of building materials. I think there is no contradictions between comfort and green building. With the continuous progress of science and technology, energy-saving technology will continue to become powerful. Energy save can be realized under the premise of ensuring comfort. For example, passive house integrates a variety of energy-saving technologies and make full use of renewable energy. The energy cost of passive house is no more than 120. Passive house originated in Germany. The first passive house in China is Hamburg House, located in Shanghai. It is a red brick house about 18 meters high. It looks like 4 doors that opens in 4 directions. very little active input of energy from outside is needed because it uses renewable energy such as geothermal and solar energy. Its winds are made of 3 layers of special glass and perform well in thermal insulation. Since my share is over.
Okay, thank you, 李国志。The PPT slides are very good. Thank you. Any questions, please? Yeah. Any questions, please? Please.
Just a question.
Yeah, please.
Okay, I just wanted to find out, are you able to share with us in terms of the consumption of the energy demands? Let's say like, do you use a lot of energy, let's say from electricity? Is it from coal? What are the percentage differences? I'm unable to read that, so, okay. Just a minute.
I didn't understand you. Can you pardon?
You spoke about, is it coal?
This is not coal. Yeah, this is carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide.
Yes,
yeah.
Carbon. So in terms of, I wanted to know the percentages in consumption. Do you use, like for hydro power related to maybe any other renewable energies in China?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're getting my question.
Yeah. 李国志，你听清楚他的问题了吗？
没有。
对，他的问题呢是，你比如说用水电啊，或什么其他的，比如说它是用一种能源的比例，而不是像你这个图里面，你这个图里面现在属于排放的，就是排放的比例，知道吧？
对。
你有没有相关的这个数据或者图，你能够说一下，就是你这个能源组成的比例呢？
能源组成的比例，
对，
我想一下，就这个我还没有找到相关的数据，但就是肯定是有的，但我还没有找到。
OK， 对啊 ，Constant，
就当时
，Yeah. In his investigation, he only has such chart for the portion of different sources of the carbon emission, and in his PPT slides, we don't have any more data on the percentage of the energy utilization, different sources. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
你可以在课后再做一些这方面的功课，好不好？李国志，好吧？
好的，就事实上用这个碳排放的数据，其实就已经涵盖了一些清洁能源的概念在里面，因为一些就比较清洁的能源，就比如太阳能或者风能，还有老师刚提到的那个水电，事实上这些能源的碳排放都是很低的，所以我觉得就用碳排放这个数据的话，就比那个能耗可能就更加合适一些，因为更能衡量一个建筑的那个环保水平吧。
那么这里也有一个问题，因为碳排放呢也是最近1-2年，尤其是今年非常时髦，碳排放。事实上呢，在这个碳排放，就是你的这个 emission level 和实际上呢和你的这个 energy utilization level 之间并不能完全的划等号。
对，因为就他还考虑到了就各种能源的，就有
你的效率
能源的那个清洁性
效率，关键是效率，
对，
关键是效率
对能效。
对你比如说刚才那个是刘处吧，刘处说的这个叫煤的，对吧？煤它的这个 carbon emission 就非常高，但实际上来说它的能耗就非常高，因为它的它的效率很低嘛。
对
不对？对吧？
对
是这样的。 那么但是它这个呢，并不能从你这个里面呢，并不能完全的体现出，并不能非常就是线性的，不是非常线性的对比，能够得出某种能源它在整个的这个我们的国家的能源消耗的中间呢，它大概的这个范围。
对的。对的，那我之后再查一下这方面的数据。
对，要多了解一下这方面的信息。我可以非常明确的告诉你，在中国呢，它不光是各个地方它各个地方之间，它各个能源的使用比例事实上都不一样。
对，就因为中国的就非常地大物博嘛，有的地方是那种煤炭大省，所以用煤可能就多一些，然后有的地方就靠近长江。所以用水力发电就会多一些，然后在北方的话，他们就因为就有很多那种风比较大嘛，就比如我去过内蒙古，那随处可见就那种风力发电机。
对，风力发电机。目前内蒙古是全国风力发电最强的一个省今年内蒙古的全省的发电量已经是全国发电量的领先第一。现在已经是第一了，它已经超过广东和江苏了，它
就真的随处可见那种风力发电机。
对，而且内蒙古它的那个能源就发电量大部分都来于清洁能源，它很少用火力发电的，很少的它除了风之外呢，事实上还有一部分的太阳能，在内蒙古尤其是靠近甘肃的那些位置它的那个太阳能发电站是很多的。我们后面还会再提到，中国有很多非常先进的、全世界领先的这个太阳能发电站。我说的是发电站，不是太阳能光电板是发电站我们后续我还会补充图片挨个的告诉你。所以讲在这里面呢，你才提到这个碳排放本身这个概念是非常了不起的，是很好的跟其他人不一样。所以在这个里面呢，从你自己的学习的角度，再补充一些关于这个能耗的，知道吧？关于就是能源使用能源使用这方面的一些查一些这方面的数据多一些了解，好吧？
好的。
好，谢谢你，徐博士。
好。
那么我们 OK，let's invite the next classmate。丁玉洁。
Yes, I'm here, Professor Ming.
Okay, so good.
Let me share the screen.
Yeah, sure.
Today my topic is mainly about the two questions you have mentioned in the last class. So we first have to see this picture. This picture of energy consumption of buildings and building sector around the world is obtained from the IEA, International Energy Agency. And we can see the dark blue line represents the Chinese energy consumption, total energy consumption. We can see the energy-related carbon dioxide emissions from building have risen in recent years after flattening between 2013 and 2016. The direct and indirect emissions from electricity and commercial heat used in building rose to 10 gigatons dioxide, and in 2019, the highest level ever recorded. Several factors have contributed to this rise, including growing energy demand for heating and cooling with rising air conditioners ownership and extreme weather events. Enormous emissions reduction potential remains untapped due to the continued use of fossil fuels-based assets, a lack of effective energy efficiency policies, and insufficient investment in sustainable buildings. And as for China's building energy consumption data, I found this article. I think this article can explain what Luo Yang says his problems when he is finding the data of exact data of the building consumption, because this and as for me, I find it difficult to find the country's official statistics in the research for data, and in this article it mentioned China's energy consumption in the building sector is not counted as a separate type of energy consumption, but divided and mixed in other sectors in China's statistic system. This leads to the lack of historical data on China's BEC. So he just this means that all the data is not an official data to explain how the building sector consumption. So the data varies from the different agency. And but I also found the data in China Building Agency Development Report 2020, and it says in 2018, China's civil construction energy consumption of 520 million TCE, accounting for about 11% of the country's energy consumption. And from 2001 to 2018, the total building energy consumption and power consumption increased significantly. In 2018, the total commodity energy consumption of building operation was 1 billion TCE, accounting for about 22% of the total national energy consumption. The total commodity energy consumption and biomass energy consumption of building were 1.09 billion TCE, including biomass energy consumption about 19 billion TCE. And in recent years, with the growth of public building scale and average energy consumption intensity, the energy consumption of public buildings has become the largest part of the building energy consumption in China. So in 2018, the carbon emissions related to fossil energy consumption of China's construction and operation were 2.1 billion tons carbon dioxide, of which direct carbon emissions accounted for 15%, and indirect carbon emissions related to electricity accounted for 42%. And for the next question, is there any possible contradictions between comfort and green building? Because there is less contact with green buildings in my rural life, so I find this question in the literature. And in this article, are green buildings more satisfactory and comfortable? The author used the questionnaire to find if these green buildings were more satisfying and comfortable, and the result of the survey says the green building group was more satisfactory but not necessarily more comfortable. The temperature and air in winter and the noise were the outstanding factors on which the green building group scored remarkably lower than the non-green building group. So I think this situation can be improved by revising the green building evaluation standard, and which is the document I list in this picture. In the standard, according to the indicators of the comfort of residents to improve the winter heat, comfort, and environmental noise requirements, guide the green building to a more livable direction. And that's all for my presentation.
Okay,
thanks for listening.
Okay, thank you so much, Dingjie. Yeah, I think you have a very good and thorough learning and thinking about these two questions. Not only for yourself, but also the the, the most treasured. I think in your PPT slide is the source, the data source, and the opinion source is from the literature. You have made the strict literature review on these two questions. I recommend other classmates to learn about this method in your grade, in your studies of this course. This is very good and will be much better for your learning on that. And on the second question, your answer, mostly I agree your opinion. And on the comfort and also the satisfaction on the building, not only from the design, construction, or the operations. Maybe many has different answers for this question, but from the standard for utilization in China, we have such guideline and also the standard for the evaluation of the green building is a quantitative evaluation methods for the green building. In this the top right, the picture in this slide is very good and very important to understand the green building. Inside this standard, they have at least one complete chapter to discuss the comfort, on the lighting, on the heating, and also on the acoustic, the noise, and also including some aspects from the vibration. And I think this standard is very good for your understanding. I recommend that. And may you please go back to your slides on the first question. Yeah. Maybe the next one. Yeah, this one. This is a very important conclusion outlined here. Very important conclusion. If you search thoroughly the energy data, especially the utilization data for your own country, not only for that in China. For example, in USA or UK, maybe different source or that I mentioned is the literature or some other official data collection for that. You may have different answers. This is based on different methods of the data collection, the energy data collection, calculation, and the evaluation. Different countries have different methods. And in the research, actually, the scholars have discussed the methods for proper of in some situations is more accurate calculation methods for a whole building energy consumption. Actually, there are still many discussions on that. So we cannot give very accurate data. For example, the percentage, the utilization of different energy percentage in the whole structures. Maybe the percentage data is very raw, but this this structure, the overall comparison may provide good viewpoints on the energy, the whole energy status on that. Okay. Any questions on Ding Yujie's talk? Any questions, please? No question? Okay. Thank you, Ding Yujie. Thank you again.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you, Professor Ning.
Yeah. You did a very good talk. Thank you. Let's invite the next classmate. Up here. Yeah. May you please begin? Hello? Maybe something wrong with your microphone. I can't hear you. Hello?
Professor, is it possible to unmute him?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Abian. Will you please talk? Cannot hear you.
Yeah, I don't know what's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. You may check. You do the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
老师
Yeah. Sadiq. Yeah. You please.
Why my voice wasn't outside? I tried next one. Not sure why it wasn't working. Good afternoon, class. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Professor. My name is Ibrahim Abubakar Sadiq. My Chinese name is Sarika. And today I'm going to be presenting on green building. So first, I'm going to introduce my country, where I come from, some basic facts regarding my country. My country, oil is one of the biggest exports of my country, and it is the most populous country in Africa, home to more than 200 million people. And Nigeria is also home to Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Africa, having a net worth of more than $12 billion. Largely due to my country's market, Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa. And my country's film industry, popularly known as Nollywood, is one of the largest film producers in the world. And then I'll talk about the situation of building energy costs in Nigeria. Nigeria is well endowed with abundant renewable energy technologies. Main RE technologies include small and large hydropower, nuclear power, solar power, wind, geothermal, and biomass. The rapidly growing energy demand in the country is met principally through finite fossil fuels sources, especially crude oil and natural gas. However, these have had their attendant challenges of global warming through the greenhouse gas emissions and CO2 pollutions. Nigeria's energy demand far outstrips current supply, and this has been bane to industrial and economic development. Several government reforms have taken place in the past to address the energy challenges Nigeria is facing. The Power Holding Company of Nigeria, a company that is responsible for power generation, transmission, and generation, was unbundled in 2010 into 18 different companies. 6 of the companies, 11 distribution companies, and 1 transmission company to improve energy efficiency and accessibility. This measure allowed private participation in eliminating monopoly in the sector. Epileptic power generation and distribution over the years has negatively impacted economic growth and industrialization. So I'll talk about the situation of building energy costs in Nigeria regarding energy supply in Nigeria. So according to the International Energy Agency, IEA 2011, Nigeria's total primary energy supply, excluding electricity trade, was 118,325 kilotons of oil equivalent. And in terms of energy demand, the residential sector accounted for the bulk of the energy consumed, with a total final consumption of 116,457 kilotons of energy. So we can see that in this pie chart, biomass accounts for about 82% of total energy supply. And we can see oil accounts for about 11% of total energy supply by source. And natural gas accounts for 7%, and hydro accounts for less than 1% of the total primary energy supply in Nigeria. And then now we go to energy demand. So regarding energy demand, biomass, including biofuels and waste, constituted for about 82.2% and also dominated the total primary energy supply, whilst RE, which is renewable energy sources, accounted for just a little share of the energy supply, with hydropower accounting for just a paltry of 0.4%. So you can see regarding the energy consumption, we can see that traditional solid biomass and waste was much more consumed in a fraction of 80%. And oil accounted for 13% consumption rate, and natural gas accounted for 6%, hydro consumption just less than 1%. So I'll talk about the situation of building energy costs in Nigeria regarding residential buildings. Pertaining residential buildings account for the highest consumption percentage in the total energy consumption in Nigeria. It takes more than 70% of the total energy in our country. So in residential buildings, there are different kinds of energy types. We know there's electricity. Regarding electricity, that's 2% consumption goes to lighting, and 23% goes to cooking. Household appliances takes about 17%, air conditioning takes 13%. So in total, air conditioning takes the lowest percentage with regards to electricity. And lighting takes the highest percentage with regards to electricity in residential buildings in my country. So the next energy type that is used in residential buildings is kerosene. Kerosene is somewhat like a liquid. Somewhat like a liquid that could be used like a combustional liquid, like petrol, for fuel. So in my country, kerosene is used for cooking, water heating, and also lighting. So we can see lighting takes the highest percentage, which takes 55% of the total energy used through kerosene. And cooking takes the next biggest percentage, about 37%. And then we can see water heating takes least percentage, which takes just 8%. And then the next energy type used in residential buildings is LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. This sort of energy type is also found in China, actually. Most of it, about 86% of it, is used for cooking. The rest of the percentage, mostly for heating water in my country. Yeah. So the next energy type is fuel wood, like a wood that might be used for heating, like winter, all of this sort of things. So it is used for about 74% of it is used for cooking in my country, while about 25% of it is used for water heating. This is mostly used in rural areas, actually, like this energy type. And also with regards to charcoal is somewhat like a wood that has been burnt, but then reburnt. Reburnt as a form of energy. But in my country, this is used mostly 100% of it is used for cooking. This is used in normally rural areas in my country. Yeah. Also other biomasses, like human excrement that could be used to produce energy is also used. And most of it is used for cooking as well. So situation of building energy costs in public spaces and environment. So we have seen that in residential area accounted for about 77.9% of energy consumed in Nigeria, while public spaces and environment accounted for 22.1% of total energy consumed in Nigeria. And we can see that here, that public spaces accounted for just 3.05% of total energy consumed, while environment accounted for 19% in general. So this is just a typical energy breakdown of a public building in Nigeria. So we can see in most public buildings in Nigeria, this is the energy breakdown, and we can see that lighting in like space heating most public buildings with regards to maybe we can say like air conditioning, all of this sort of stuff, takes one of the highest percentages of the total electrical energy in such public buildings. We can see 25%, and we can see the next highest is probably others of machines or other equipment and machinery. And then the next highest is refrigeration and ventilation. Yeah, and then cooling. This is from the vent machines in toilets, in rooms, and in other public spaces like stores, all of this sort of stuff for ventilation. Yeah, and then maybe in some cases cooking. Yeah. So with regards to the second question that Professor asked us, which is there possible contradictions between comfort and green building? So this is my personal opinion, and these are just a few solutions I could come up with. So me personally, I don't think there's a huge contradiction between comfort and green building, and this is due to the fact that the reason why people don't practice green building it's not because of comfort, really. The real question is not because of comfort, but rather because of lack of education on the importance and goals of sustainability and green building. And this can be linked to the fact that a lot of people at first glance think that sustainability equals sacrificing comfort for the environment, thinking that green building is a bad idea, especially for wealthy people, because they think that they can pay for anything so long as it gives them comfort, and this sort of idea is totally contrary to what true sustainability is, meaning that in actuality you can achieve both comfort and sustainability at the same time. So This problem and reasoning can be changed. So the solution to this is this problem and reasoning can be changed through educating people that actually green building is much more comfortable than common building or regularly conventional buildings. For example, you can take an example. The indoor air in green building is more fresher than that in common buildings, and at the same time, it's low energy consumption. And also maintenance is much more cheaper when we build green, because one of the biggest objectives of green building is to improve a more healthy and productive society, which automatically satisfies comfort objective of criteria of green building. So in true actuality, comfort is not sacrificed. And another solution that I'm thinking about is we should maybe teach architects, engineers, and most importantly, the owners regarding sustainability. For example, even through the initial cost of green building, even though the initial cost of green building may be high in some situations, however, when we consider the whole life cycle of the building, with regards to design, construction, maintenance, operation, renovation, and demolition, green building is actually more cheaper, produces a healthier and more comfortable environment than conventional buildings. So, thank you. These are my thoughts.
Okay, thank you. So good. Yeah, great, Sadiq. Yeah, your talk is very good. I think you share have our applause. You share have our applause. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Lordship.
Yeah. In your PPT slides, you overview the over status in your country. Yeah. It's very good. And some data in your PPT is in very details. Yeah, is in very details. Actually, the thing that interests me is you can go back to the energy structure. Maybe the second, the fourth.
Yes.
Yeah, the fourth. Yes, right. Yeah, the structure, the biomass.
Yes.
The structure, the percentage is so high.
Yes.
It's far beyond my expectation. Yeah.
Yes.
And after the slides, in your examples, on the types inside the biomass, so I understand what the source of this so high percentage.
Yes.
Yeah, and after that,
you can see this percentage,
yeah,
like
right,
this biomass,
yeah,
and then this also. Yes.
Charcoal. Yeah.
And other biomass and waste. This take one of the biggest percentages. Yes.
Yes, right. Yes, right. Yeah. So your question, I think the energy structure level maybe is somewhat low. You know.
Yes.
The level. Yeah. For your country, maybe the most important objective is to level up the structure, the efficiency, that the energy utilization efficiency of the whole energy utilization. Of course, there are some maybe some sources, some reasons for this structure, because in different countries we have to face different situations.
Yes.
Yeah. Your country, I think the situation, all of that is maybe around the real life, and the infrastructure, the whole infrastructure, also is longing around to maintain the good life of everyone.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. That's right, Professor.
Yeah, because from the percentage of your industry, you can go forward. Yeah, the percentage. That one. 13.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Six.
You can say from here the consumption. The industrial consumption is far smaller.
Yes.
Far smaller than the residential, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It takes like 9%
Yes.
of total energy consumption.
Yeah. So in your situation is how to level up the energy type or the energy utilization level in the real life. Maybe the most challenging, I think.
Yes. That's right. Actually, right now in my country, this is one of the biggest issues that we are having regarding electricity and energy, because the demand, the supply of electricity is far lower than the supply. The demand is far much than the supply. So this is where we are having a lot of issues now. So,
right. Yes, right. And in your country, I know your country.
Yes.
You have plenty of the natural resources.
Yes.
You are very rich. Your country is very rich in the natural resources. And you just mentioned the richest man in Africa is in your country, right?
Yeah. Yes, Professor.
Right. I think if you try, every one of you in your country will try to level up the structure of the energy utilization. Yeah, all of you will get richer and richer. Maybe become the richest country in Africa.
Yes.
I think it's your not far. It is not very far. And on your second question, the answer, your answer. Actually, for your answer, I can't agree anymore. Very good. Your answer is very good. Very good. For most of rich people, they don't understand the sustainability, and don't want to understand what's the sustainability, because they think I can buy anything, I can buy any comfort because I'm rich. Don't see the saving of energy, of saving the money for me. So how to educate the people, the whole society, actually is the biggest obstacle in the sustainability, and also on the the possible contradictions between the comfort and the green building. There's no the distinct contradiction between them, because we can balance. The first one is to keep our comfort. There's no doubt. And how to balance, how to get the point, how to get the objective of comfort is another question. You may use the energy saving method, or some rich man can use the high assumption method. This is the difference, I think.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor.
You did good, very good preparation. So good. And any other questions, please? Any other questions? This is a very good example in Africa. Maybe someone may be interested in Africa. Any questions, please? Okay. No more questions. Thank you again, Sadiq.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah.
So,
yes. Okay. Yeah. Constant.
hello.
Thank you. Constant, please.
Hello.
Yeah, can hear you.
Oh, yes. I'm trying to see how I'm unable to display. I have information, so I don't know how I can.
Cannot display?
Okay.
Okay.
Explaining, I can explain, but to display, I'm unable to display.
He's unable to share his screen, probably.
I'm able to share the screen, so I don't know if it's. I'm able to explain a bit of, but I see it to be imperative that people are able to see what I'm explaining, because I have a number of like these figures, the percentages. So if I just have to explain here, it will be very difficult for one to follow, and even to pick on which page or on which point one would want to relate or maybe pose a question. But all in all, I don't know, Professor, if maybe you allow me, maybe if I can just do like a summary, an explanation. I don't know if that one is okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. I'm Kosten Mvula. I come from Zambia. So I'll just talk a bit about the energy demand by source in my country, and also the proportion of electricity consumption by the users, and also mention other sources of energy. We have about 85% of hydro-based that's electricity, and of which that 67%, most of the electricity from hydro is used in urban areas. Apart from electricity, there are also sources, like in Africa, we've got urban and rural. And to be more precise, we have about 70% of the total energy demand, electricity, that is like if we talk about the wood fuels that are used, and most this is predominantly in the rural areas. We have the usage of 14%, that's petroleum, electricity, then we've got petroleum, which is 2%, and also we've got coal, which is 22%. So when you look at it, you add this, you find 70% mostly is coming from electricity. And then these other percentages, 14 for petrol, 12 for coal, and 2%. When we look at the proportion of energy consumption, mostly in my country, the higher consumer of electricity, that's we have is the mining sector, which gets the total percent of the mining sector. They get about 68%. We have also the commerce and industry, which gets about 4%. The households, they get about 19%. We've got also government and other services, which gets about 7%. And also the 2% goes to agriculture. When we talk about, I think the next question that was posed, the last one talking about the contradiction, the comfort and the green building. I believe that the green building is sort of like it's a new way of construction that was recently introduced. The only few countries I think that has really advanced when it comes to the green building technology, and even just the knowledge that is being shared. And people would want to, there's certain, like in my own understanding, it's lack of knowledge in this area, where people would want to understand what really the green building is, or the meaning of it. Others will think maybe it will be costly, because if you'd want to put different innovations on how maybe to take this approach, and one would want to just go into the traditional way that has been all along. So the there isn't much contradiction, but I think it's the issue of just us understanding and how to apply, make people understand. So the green building has a lot of advantages that we know, because we consider the type of materials that we use, so that in an event we need to take a lot of maintenance. It's easy. We know the types of energy that can be used, and so forth. Unlike if it's the traditional way, which we are told or we know how we can apply or use, but the green building has a lot of knowledge, I believe, can be used more efficiently. And I think the buildings, if green building is being taken, it creates a lot of comfort, and it makes construction more easy to understanding, because there's efficient use of resources. And this applies when talking about the global warming issue. The materials that we use have to some extent an impact to the environment. So if this approach is taken, of course it goes, let's say the time that you want to do demolition, the time you want to do maintenance and operation. We'll be able to select the type of wood materials that you should know that they don't have high impact to the environment, or that would be very easy for us to say if we do want to do some maintenance. So it is important, I feel, that if we have more practice, if we have more knowledge on how to take this approach of green, and the knowledge is shared, people will be able to understand this relationship of the green building and the comfort. With me, it's almost just the same thing, but maybe it's the way on how the application of the green building approach is being taken. So I think I'll end here, but my apology, Professor. Would have been well if I'd shared all this. I don't know if it could be any chance, maybe in the next lecture, just to be given even just a few minutes, so that I can share, and then even my other colleagues from other countries will be able to learn and see what I'm presenting, and they'll be able to pick notes and see what to ask me, so that we can share notes and learn from each other. I think from just feel this presentation, I can end it here.
Okay, I think you have more chance to share your previous slides. Yeah, I think, but it's not very sure in next class. The time. Maybe, if I have time, I can invite you to share your previous slides again. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Constant. Yeah. Even if you don't have the previous slides, you share your opinion very clearly. It's very good, and you did good preparations on this issue. I think your talk is beneficial for others to know more, to know more the situation in Zambia. I know Zambia is another African country. No problem. And your situation actually in your talk, is something different with that shared by Cedric. So thank you again, Cost. And any questions, please? Any questions? Any questions on Constance's talk? Okay, yeah, don't have. Thank you again, Constance. Yeah, let's invite the next one. Abian. Yeah, Abian. You. Are you ready? Abian?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Much more better.
From Nepal. I was chapter but I couldn't find it. So I just energy usage. Firstly, I'll introduce my country, Nepal. It's a small country. It lies in between China and Russia. Small country with a population of 30 million, and density is 100 square per square kilometer. Most of the people here, 59, it's almost 60% are living in urban areas, while 40% geography is a tremendous. It has a tremendous geographical diversity. Like the most of the northern part of Nepal is totally mountains. It's totally Himalayas. So the mid part is all mountains and big hills. All plain, so it's also urban dining. And we have lots of streets.
At Abian, can you increase the voice, please? Or just the microphone is a bit far. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, the voice is very small. Yeah.
Next is overview of energy sector. Well, we have no known is it oil or gas or coal reserve, but a few weeks ago, a Chinese team and Nepali team they conducted research in one district, so they have found oil reserve, but they still have a lot more to do. But as of now, we still don't really mine the oil out of the reserves. And well, due to the continuous rivers flowing from Himalayas with very high gradient, and Nepal has a very high hydropower potential. Us flowing rivers from mountains to the horizon. Also got potentials to produce hydroelectricity. So the total feasible hydroelectricity in Nepal is seem to be around 14,000 megawatt electricity. But however, we are only producing about 1,060 megawatt as of now. And the peak national demand has been around 1,200 megawatt approximately. So we have effect of electricity. So in order to fulfill the demand, we import electricity from India. But we have lots of in 5 years we are planning to export our electricity to India and Bangladesh. Most of the parts of Nepal we have almost every day it's sunny day here, so there's a good potential for creating solar energy as well. Also, due to the electricity deficit, roads and houses of Nepal, rural Nepal, we use solar panels to generate electricity for our electricity. This is the data I got from Bureau of Statistics of Nepal. Of the we produced in Nepal, 80% is used in in commercial, 7% in transport, 1% in agriculture, and 1% in also because we aren't able to produce enough electricity required for industry, so they are facing problems. They are not able to they are not able to keep the 100%.
Hello?
Sir?
Please mute again.
Sir? This is the per capita electricity consumption. Only have 128 kilowatt capital per year, which is pretty low. So we have China here, which produces around, which consumes around 6.3 trillion kilowatts of energy per hour annually. This is Nepal's situation. I just wanted to compare it. So housing structures of Nepal. People in Nepal, we usually have our own private lands, so we prefer to design and build our own houses, consulting with the consultants and so we don't prefer to live in high-rise buildings and apartments. Where you go in Nepal, like this, very unplanned organization on the private owning of the land. Houses of Nepal, we don't really have central heating or cooling systems because the temperature here is really temperature. On this one is a typical house in rural hills, the mountainous regions of Nepal. So the most easily found construction material there is stone. So they only use stones to make houses because stones are also strong, durable, and are really resistant to weather of any conditions, and then they're also quite good. So they owns to build homes. Also because there's no easy way to take the they use solar panels to light their houses. Lots of people right now, so they have their own solar panels. And then this is the residential energy sources. Most of us use hydroelectricity for our daily purpose, and then we use LPG gases by the gases and heating. Also use solar energy for electricity and also for heating the water. In rural areas, people use biomass and biogas. They use cow dung and waste farm waste. It's gas, and they use those gases and for heating purposes. Addiction of green buildings. I think there's addiction, but comfort is like it's a subjective quality for home buildings. different people have different judgments of the same at the same time. So for any individual, there is a large range of temperature and humidity level, which feels comfortable. So it varies from each person. But to me, there's no contradiction in that. However, I wanted to introduce about the zero energy house. Like this house is our engineering building in the University of University of Nepal. So this house is completely uses the solar energies. Like it generates as much energy as it consumes throughout the year and does everything without using any fossil fuels. So all the energies this house needs is produced within itself by solar. The house's main source of energy is a 6.5 kilowatt solar solar panel, like solar panel, and then it just needs 4.15 hours of direct sunlight a day, and it can generate around 7 kilowatt of electricity, which is stored in batteries and the rest of the house. So the excess power is also supplied to the campus's power grid, so that during cloudy days when there's no enough sunlight, the power can be borrowed from the grid again to run the house. And also this building has been fitted with thermocol insulation in the walls to help maintain its temperature and include solar water system. And canteen. This canteen also runs electricity by gas energy produced by the
Because I just
I say the green I'd say the it's already a comfort because
he's tired.
that's just my point of view. But if I have a house that following the sustainable
it's not about the presentation that I want to learn. Let me explain it how it will be before. We'll have Arabic.
If I have a house
Okay.
I can make
we learn
as
I'm here enjoy.
doesn't really use
External
sources
want to be
to light the house. So I think so I like to in my presentation. Sorry, thank you.
Okay, yeah, Javier, thank you for your work. Okay, any questions? By the way, you have to check your microphone. It's very hard to hear you. Very hard. The voice is very low. Sometimes high, but most of the time it's very low. Yeah. You have to check that. Any questions, please? Any questions, please? Okay, there's no questions. Okay, thank you. Javier.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again. Yeah, thank you again. Let's invite next classmate. One is next one from the list. Next one. Okay, Salomon. Salomon. Yeah. Your turn.
Okay, Lao Shi.
Yeah, please share.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Hello? 它可能掉线了。Maybe. Okay. Yeah.
I'm back. I'm sorry. They requested me to quit and come back for these preferences. I don't know.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please share because the time is very limited. Please.
Yes. Okay. I think you can see. Can you see the slide?
Yeah, sure.
Can you see the video slide? Okay. My name is Philemon. I'm from Rwanda. So I want to have a say on the assignment that was given. First of all, on the first question about the situation of building energy cost in Rwanda vis-a-vis public spaces, residential and environment. From the government of Rwanda vision 2050, that they want to build a country with a climate resilient and low carbon economy. So buildings in Rwanda, they say that it's accounted for 14% of all gas emissions. So there is something we can say about it. So they say that
values.